I asked people to bring in some questions after the last interview. So the community obviously have a lot of questions for a game they are so passionate about. The main topic was that the ranking system was going to be released, or some information about it. Can you tell us what do we need to know about the upcoming ranking system? How will it be different from the ladder we had in Trackmania 2 Stadium, for example?
Yes. The ladder was invented in 2006, and it was working pretty well at that moment. I mean, really interesting. There were not such ranking in online games at that time. And I believe that because it was kind of a success thanks to the ladder, we stay on our, like if it was done and okay. But with the evolution of more community events and now also official events, and the idea that there's a ranking solo and multiplayer, I wish to find a system that can be more solid and gather everything into one ranking system for Trackmania. So how it works is that in any activity that you do, you can win trophies. So there's 9 different trophies, going from the trophy number 1, the lowest, and up to the trophy number 9. For example, if you win the Trackmania Grand League, there's one trophy 9 to be won. And if you are number 1 at the summer season in the ranking of the season, then you will have one trophy 9. And there will be also one for the Zerdarte Trackmania Cup, because it's a very prestigious tournament, even if the maps are crazy. So it's a kind of a rare trophy, and each trophy has an amount of points. So if you won a trophy that is number 1, it's worth 1 point.
Okay.
If it's a trophy number 2, it's worth 10 points. If it's a trophy number and so on, and 3, it's 100 points for 1,000. So you get it.
Yeah.
So when you are at the trophy number 6, it's something like 100,000 points. So there's no farming possible. You know, it's not like I will do small activities by quantity to increase my ranking, my global ranking. I will win points by winning like good trophy that are linked to my level. Where I can win good trophies for top players will be, for example, in the Daily Cup. Maybe there is a trophy of higher level than average in the Daily Cup. If I go on a time attack server with a lot of gold player, I mean top level player, then I will win trophies that are higher. Never at the amount of competition, community competition or this kind of stuff, but let's say it will increase my trophy level, my number of points, trophy points, in a regular way, depending on the difficulty of the thing I'm achieving inside the game. So then you have your number of trophy points, because you win different trophies, and there's a score, a recap inside your profile inside the game, and you can click on the profile of the people to see what are the trophies they've won so far. And with these points, we will update a ranking of who has the most points. But in many games, and including Trackmania and many systems, they have to reset somehow every 2 months or 4 months. Otherwise, it's sky ceiling. You know, people will get more points, more trophy. And so my decision about that is that Trackmania is a long-term game. It's you don't have like to be really hurry, farm, and this kind of stuff. I prefer to think people to play on a long run, like a cool activity instead of a really intense one. And so the time is 1 year. It's like in sport, let's say. So the trophy you've won over the last year are the trophies that will award you points and be taken into account into your ranking. So if somebody wins one TMGL trophy because he's first, and then he's number 10 at the summer campaign, maybe he has like 2 trophy 8, then he will have the equivalent of 1.29 trophy, because you need 10 trophies of level 8 to have the equivalent of points of one trophy of 9, let's say. So it's pretty basic because you win trophies that of different values, and we look over the last year what you've won to make your ranking. And it's because it's pretty basic and very agile that we will be able to put it everywhere. You win 5 gold medal in the solo campaign, we give you a trophy, no problem. Because if it's a trophy 2, 3, this kind of stuff, you need 100,000 more. So it's not a problem. So it's really solid from my point of view, and we will be able to award and to determine like trophy for community events. And after, we will have to install a system where the community itself, the people, the players, will be able to decide somehow what are the prestigious competitions to be awarded prestigious trophies. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's because it's basic and solid, that there's no complicated equation, that there's nothing hidden. It's plain and simple, and I love it.
You mentioned that you win a trophy. Use example of Trackmania Grand League win, Sera T win. But if you, let's say, are like Twin, who plays the 7th at the Trackmania Grand League, will he end up with some points? I mean, it's still a solid to just qualify to the playoff. It's a insane performance. Will the other players also get some sort of points? And if so, what is their points?
Yes. For example, if you are first at the Grand League, you have 1 trophy 9. But if you are second, maybe you have 6 trophy 8.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it means that you win 60% of the point of the first one, which is good for the ranking. But I believe that in the prestige, you have 2 types of feelings. It's like the people that won the trophy 9 and the points. But yes, of course, if we wish like to be able to give only, let's say, single trophy each time, we will have to have 100 different trophies, because then the first can win and then the second one a trophy behind and so on. So instead of that, we prefer to say you are on the time attack server with the good players, and maybe you will win 2 trophies 5 at the end of the time attack, because we cannot switch from 1 trophy 6 to 1 trophy 5. You know, there's too much difference. When we do the matchmaking for the daily cup, you otherwise you will have for being first, you will go from 1 trophy, let's say 6, to trophy 7, and it will mean 10 times more. So people will even quit. You say, I prefer to just battle for the trophy 7. So it can be range, and that's let's say something strange to win 3 trophy at one point, but it's part of the global ranking system.
You mentioned that maybe some in the future the community will some sort of decide it, but will this be a lot of work for you to keep track of everything that's happening and then sort of give a value to it? And how is this going to work? Are you going to have some experts like maybe SoftyB being in charge? Are people going to be dedicated just to actually update the system?
Okay, the system will be based. I mean, at first we will do it like editorial choice. To make it simple, I mean, I think that some level of trophy will be really simple to acquire from an ADO, and then maybe it will be like studying like what is the competition a little. But of course, I want to switch really quickly, as much as possible, to the club to be able to somehow have a capital vote or bring the weight into the weight of the trophy. I'd say we will award, we will say the community events as a whole can distribute, let's say, the equivalent of 3 trophy 9, and not 9 trophy, because they will be like kept for official, but as an amount of points, they can do it. So after, they will say, okay, we vote for this competition to be a trophy 8 or 7, but each time it will be done somehow, it can like remove from the community events in general the amount of high prestigious trophy they can win, and we will adjust that amount more on a global scale.
Yeah. Let's say that if you are ranked number 1 in the end of 2020 or end of 2021, is there some sort of award besides having this cool number that you can brag about, saying that, yeah, I'm number one? Will there be some additional prize to the people that are actually ranked number one for a longer time?
There's two things in the ranking. In the rankings, there's somehow always is, and you see it in many games. It's, what is my ranking? Let's say that I've reached number one of the ranking system one day. We need to log that. We need to keep that. So people, when they see your profile, they see your instant profile, and they can see also what you achieved in the past. And that's pretty much it, because it's how sports works somehow.
As a guy who likes to watch stats, I look at who has earned the most money in Trackmania, learn about who has won the most in Trackmania. Will it be possible to actually see like a overall view of who has gained the most amount of points in this, even after the year? Let's say Carl Jr. won in Lyon, so once that is gone, will I still go back to see who has gained of all time the most amount of points in Trackmania, this ranking system?
Yes, because we log everything, and people can access probably the information. But it's more like, if you think of tennis, for example, they would say, oh, he won more Grand Slam, which means like he win more like Trackmania Grand League, or he win more. He has been first for 2 years and a half, and this kind of statistics. But there's nothing that will put in front the amount. We try to avoid anything that can be linked to farming somehow. Like. It's not a value that we try to emphasize at any places. And
in the ranking system, or the ladder system we see in Trackmania 2 Stadium, is divided by Europe, North America, and then you can even go Europe, Norway. Will it still be somewhat divided, or will this just be a world ranking?
Yeah, it's divided by region. I mean, the points you have, you will be then also rank in each region. And what I didn't say is that is key somehow for people to simply see the level of the people they play with, is that from your ranking, we will attribute to you what we call an echelon that we already have in the past. So you can be echelon from 0 to 9. This echelon has name, like you see in some games, it's diamond or this kind of stuff, gold, diamond, and platinum. And here, this echelon, the name are regional 321, national 321, world 321, like national 1 or this kind of stuff. And it will be decided according to, and that's the part that is kind of a little more blurry, but it's not that important. It's just a way to quickly identify what is your league somehow. Because if there's tons of players and really low skill player, then we cannot award the same way that, let's say, at start, maybe all the champions from previous Trackmania are there and not enough new players, or it's the opposite. There's a lot of noobs, and not so we have to see what we can consider as being like World 3 League, World 2 leagues. I think only the top 10 players will be awarded the World 1 League at start. So when you've reached the World 1 League, this is the kind of things we will put in your pedigree. Say, I've been in the World 1 League, and people will remember the name. We want people to remember the name of the top 10 easily. This is why there's not 100 people in the World 1 League. We want to identify quite simply and to be able to say, I'm World 1.
Yeah, can you tell us how have you developed this ranking system? Is this something out of your ideas? Have you learned from other games? Have you talked to players? Maybe Softy B, who is in charge of the esports side of Trackmania. How does this ranking system come to fruition, and what is the idea behind it?
No, you can't inspire from other games simply because the challenge of Trackmania is how diverse, open, and it is. Like for events, for servers, for solo, for this kind of stuff. You know, it's so wide that when you start to think about that, you just say, I need to solve the equation. And so I had really to think about that, and then to share. And what we did as a big work with Omar, with the Softie, it was really like to say how we will somehow balance it, and how much trophy we can win there or win there. And he made all the map of this. And so I think it's going to be solid because of this as well. Yeah.